All right, guys, this is going to be the paint splatter choice project for photography. So if you choose this one, just make sure that you watch this video carefully because this one has a few more steps than the rest. You're going to find, if you're going to use a photo that you have, just make sure you download it to your Chromebook somehow. You can send it to your own email. If you need help doing that, just let me know. You can use a photo of, if your pet, you can use a photo of yourself, of a friend. Any photo works for this one. So once you have it, just make sure it is downloaded to your Chromebook. Now, the first thing that we want to do is actually, before we start, we have to make sure that your photo does not have a background. So if you go to my website, which this will be posted in the assignment, I have over here, remove background. If you just click on this X, it will take you to the remove background website. Here it is. So all you have to do is click upload image and then find the photo that you downloaded. I don't know if you just downloaded it, it's probably right at the top of your recent files, but you might have to look a little bit for it. So this is mine. And once you've opened it, it's going to remove the background on its own, which is very cool. And then once it looks good to you, you just click download, and then I would change the name of it to something that you're going to know. So paint splatter, maybe paint splatter model. That works for me. So whatever works best for you, you're going to have to change the name of it. All right. Once we have that done, we're going to go back into Photopea and we're going to start this. So you can go ahead and click open from computer. And since you just saved this file, it should be right on top in your recent files. Once you find it, just click open. And here we go. This is our girl. So I'm going to just, before I do anything, I want to add a new layer. So I'm going to click layer at the top, new layer. And I want to move, so the layer turns up over here on the right on our layers panel. I want to move this to the bottom. So I want to make sure that it is behind my person. I also want to make this a white background. So to do that, you are going to go, it should be it's right, these two boxes down here. If your Go Guardian chat is in the way, just move it over. You want to click on the top box and you want to make sure that the color is white. It's also down here. Once white is selected, click OK. And then we're going to click on the paint bucket tool, which is down, it's sort of in the middle. It's right next to this. It's this little ombre box. So if you click and hold or right click, paint bucket is right there. So once you've had the paint bucket and the white, you're just going to click and the background will turn white. So that's another easy way to do it. Once you're finished with this, you're going to click on your move tool so we don't accidentally paint anything else. And we want to click on our person's layer. All right. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go into my website, which is posted in the assignment on Google Classroom. And we want to find the paint drip. So we're just going to right click and click copy. And then you're going to go back into Photopea and click edit and then paste. So it comes out to be really big. I don't know why it does that. But it's going to be on top of your person or your character, whatever it is. So we need to change the blend mode for this. So to do that, right here where it says normal, you're going to change it to lighten. And it turns out like this. It's very cool. This one's a little bit close to the bottom for me, so you might have to do a little bit of maneuvering around. So if I want to move my person up, I can't do that because I'm still in this paint drip layer. So if I click on my girl's layer, I can move her a little bit up and centered more. And then if I want to move the paint, I just click on the paint layer and then I can move that too. And if you think the paint drips are maybe too small or too big, and you want to adjust them, you can click edit, free transform, and you can use, the corners to kind of make it bigger or smaller, or squish it together a little bit more. I feel like that looks a little bit too much like hair, not paint. So just try to find a good happy medium for yourself. Once you find it, you can click enter, and it should be looking somewhat like this. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is go back into my website and we're going to find the paint splatter. Right click, click copy, and then back into Photopea, we're going to click edit, paste. Here is my paint splatter. We want to change the size of this because, again, this is too big. So I'm going to do edit, free transform, and I have to stretch this up a little bit. It's like these are humongous pictures. Okay. Probably about the size of the actual canvas is good, but again, it's up to you. Click enter when you have a good shape or a good size. And then we want this paint to be behind everything. So we want to move it to behind our person. So we don't need to move it behind our layer one, that white layer that we have, because then we won't be able to see it. So we just want to make sure it's right behind our person. It's a little bit low, so I'm going to move it around. If you have this weird like white cutoff, it probably means that it's your paint drip. So you'll just have to adjust that and make it bigger. Because it's just there it is. Just the clip art photo does that. I don't know why. And that works. Okay. So I have my paint drip around. If you would like to change the colors of the paint drip, you can go to Image Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. If you change this hue, you can just it changes to different color schemes, which is very cool. I guess I'll make it like this. Once you find a color you like, or you can keep it the same, you just click OK, and there you go. The next thing that we want to do is click on our model layer or your person, your photos layer. So for me, it says background. I'm going to change the name of this actually to model. That way I know. If you want to go ahead and change all of the names so you know what they are, that's fine too. It just helps me. If you're okay with it, then you can leave it, but it's going to make me go crazy if I don't. All right. So I want to make sure that my person's layer is selected. If you're not sure which one it is, click the eyeball and you will be able to see which one it is. So this is the layer I'm supposed to be on. So once I have it clicked, I am going to double click on this layer. And then I get this layer style panel that comes up. So I'm just going to move it over. And I want to find where it says stroke. So stroke is right here. This stroke is red. I don't want this to be red. I want it to be white. So I'm going to click on this red box. And I'm going to change it to white, which is right here. Click OK. And there it is. You can change the size over here to adjust the thickness. I guess it's up to you. I'll just leave it at 3. Once you have adjusted and made it turn white, I guess you can make it any color you want, but I think it works best with white because the background's white. We can click on drop shadow, which is down here. And the same thing, you can kind of change the opacity a little bit. It just makes it look a little bit more 3D. You can change the size. Very cool. So you guys can play around with these and whatever you like. Once you're finished, just click OK, and it will stick here. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to merge our layers. So to do that, we're going to hold down the Shift key, and you're going to click on every single layer that you have. Except you don't have to click on the background layer, like the white layer. That can stay the way it is. Once you have them all selected, you click Control E as an egg, and then look, I can move her around, and I can just kind of center it in the middle of the page. If you want to make it look a little bit cooler, I always do this. You can go back to Image and Adjustments, and you can play around with these. You can play around with the vibrance a little bit. If you want to, makes it a little bit brighter. You can play around with curves. I always like to use curves, although this one is not super dark, so I don't know how much it will actually change, but it looks a little bit. So again, just play around with that stuff that you like, and once you find a good ending, I guess, you just have to save it. Click File, Export as JPG, and you are good to save it. And just make sure you submit it to Google Classroom.